sit down. We're almost to school. It's time now for the school report. Today we welcome Lori Frerk to the studio, the superintendent of the Arcadia School District, brought to you by Poppy Bus Service. The school report starts right now.
It is Friday, everybody. It is time for your school report. I am joined by Lori Frerk this morning. What a beautiful morning it is, Lori.
Well, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
This spring has been pretty cold.
Yeah, I know. It's just like finally it's coming, and it's coming with a vengeance because we're going to be in the 80s this weekend, but bring it on.
Yeah, then come the storms, right?
Yeah.
So we have to watch for those, too.
The storms of the rain.
At least we won't have school that I'll have to, keep them there with the buses and so forth.
And no more snow days.
Well,
who knows?
Hey, it's already snowed in June in Wisconsin. So I think the only month that it hasn't snowed is August, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So we're not out of it yet. And speaking of that, graduation's right around the corner, isn't it?
Next Friday night.
Already? Wow.
Yes. Yep. And for the last 2 weeks, our high school seniors have been going through their presentations, their senior presentations to their advisory groups, their families, and friends and people that have helped them through their K through 12 education.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's been an experience.
Yeah. So are the seniors done yet, or when's their last day?
No, they're done basically right next Wednesday.
Okay. That's
and then they'll run through some pieces. They don't get a whole week off, but they get some of that time off before graduation. You have to run through practice and all those other pieces. So
yeah, well, that's great. And I know it's bittersweet for all the kids graduating. As you move into that new part of life, everyone's excited, but a little bit afraid at the same time, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is when all those emotions will come out. The part of you've had that steadiness for 12 years overall. You've had that steadiness. Now you're going out and going, okay, I got to enter that world of work. Some have already done that through our youth apprentice programs and so forth. Yeah. So they're getting a little bit more anxious on it. So hopefully they'll keep in at least realize that their roots of where they've come from will always stay with them no matter where they go.
Yeah.
And it's spectacular, especially those that are actually going to head to the military. They're going to have a change in their lives for at least 13 weeks.
Yep.
Won't be hearing from anybody. Won't be on their cell phones at all. They won't have any of those. So there's a big change coming for them.
Yeah, and it's going to be welcome for everyone, I'm sure. And what else is going on around Arcadia?
Arcadia.
As we go.
Well, remember, I've got to say hi to my group over at the Quick Trip because the guys are there and always there when I come in and talk to me about things going on. No, it's spring sports. I mean, when you're looking at it right now, we're headed into those regionals next week. We've had an outstanding season, at least for our softball team. Our baseball team is on the men's, as we say. You have good years, you have bad years as you're going. Actually, our girls soccer team has been outperforming what we had thought. Even referees have come up and said that they've really improved over the last 2 years. So that's great to hear those pieces. Other things like we've talked about, trying to work on our budget. It was kind of disappointing to us that the state Senate decided to vote down that reconciliation bill. Especially when you find out that all of the Democrats said no to it. My husband and I were talking about it, and we knew it was probably the right bill because people that were extreme on the left and people extreme on the right didn't like it.
Yep.
So people in the middle were like, wait, it must be the right thing.
Finally some compromise.
Yeah, it was compromise. And again, we have to start compromising in the world, but that's kind of a hit because that would have been an important piece because that would have brought our special education cost funding back to the 42%. Now it won't be that. And then the following year it would have been at 50%.
Okay.
Those are mandates that are given to us by the state, by the federal government, but they're not providing the funding, and that comes out of our Fund 10 piece.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. They just think you guys get free money from the state, and it just works out that way, but that's not how it is. You got to deal with what they send down to you, and you got to find a way of budgeting and making things work, and getting the right people in the right places.
You're right.
Tough.
It's hard. It's hard because, we've been looking at, this year we had a decrease in enrollment for the first time in a long time. And that decrease was about 60 students. And when you get your aid, you get aided on the 3-year average. And we're also anticipating another 40 student drop next year. People are like, what is that about? Well, if you look around, we're only having 2 children, one child, maybe 2 children, maybe 3. We're not having the family farms where we have 6 to 10 kids overall. That's not happening, and that's been in the market for a long time. If you look across the state, the decline in birth rates is huge, and that has their impact. So what we have to do is we have to right fit our budget, and so that's what we're going through. We're going through our agony and our pains as we're headed, because we're doing some new things in Arcadia. We're actually trying to really correct it and do a right budget, be more transparent to our taxpayers and what we're doing. And I think that's important to them to know those pieces, and then make sure that we have the funding available to pay the bills when the bills come to fruition, because we can't leave that on the doorstep. I mean, you're looking at a lot of school districts. If you're up and reading about what's happening, there's many school districts that are cutting anywhere from 10 to 20 staff members because they need to cut $1 to $2 million because the funding is that short.
Yep, and some of those school districts end up cutting their sports programs, their music programs, things like that, and those are some of those programs that help build kids' character as they go through school. So those are just as important as that math and everything else.
Correct, and so you really have to look, and you have to look towards 2 years beyond. So our look is if we are having that decrease in enrollment, we are going to look at how if a individual leaves our building, a staff member leaves our building overall, then what we have to do is we have to make the determination and justification. Do we have to fill that position? Because that's an important piece. It doesn't matter if you have 3 buildings open. You still have to heat those 3 buildings. You have to cool those buildings. You have to put lights on. All those things are still, that cost is still going to be there. But you have to look now at that student cost. But you want to give them everything you can. And that's where we're working with the TVC, and we're working with that process to really give the kids what we can give for our community in this area. We have to give them those skills and those processes that can help them in their career. So that's why our focus is, Arcadia can't do every class. We can't. So if you're looking at tech ed, we can't do all the robotics. We can't do all these things. So that's why we're looking at how Whitehall has emerging tech centers. So they're going to do the robotics and all those other engineering pieces. You know, Arcadia is going to look at doing automotive, doing probably some construction, some welding, and some electrical. Possibly we're hoping HVAC in the future. Blair Taylor's looking at, again, construction, welding, and all those aspects. So we're looking at, and Indy's looking at that manufacturing. How do we do these things together, and how do we help our kids overall? We're going to have some busing. We're going to have to look at how do we change things. So maybe a student actually goes to Blair Taylor for one of the classes that we don't offer, but needs to be there that whole morning, half a day. So then if they have a break, can they take one of Blair Taylor's English courses or anything else to kind of fill that in, just so that we're not shifting kids every hour with buses and so forth. And that's the development we're doing. We're also looking at right now how to have a health careers area. And so can we do that at and the biggest piece right now for us is we're looking at the WTC Center in Indy, and that our kids go there, supported by Amplify, hopefully by Trempealeau County, and by all the schools and our teachers, because we have teachers in every building. Our teachers will probably go to that center for the kids and then go back. So we're really looking hard and looking at and truly we had a meeting this week for our TVC board, and really looking at our why, and our why is our kids. And we have to do what's best for our kids in this community. We have to be supportive of them, so we can give them the skills necessary to change careers when they need to, but also provide that so that they stay here in this community and support this community.
And some of those things, like it encourages, like you said, it encourages them to stay in the community if they get involved in these work to school programs and things like that. I think it's an awesome thing that they're doing. Like I said before, I did that when I was a kid. I went and worked construction during the day, part of the day, went to school, got credits for going to work, and got money in my pocket. And it really, I didn't like construction, so I moved on to something else, but it gave me a lot of abilities that I use to this day, and did help me stay around the area.
Right, but even at that, we had our youth apprentice banquet last week, and so 70 students were recognized between the 4 schools. And when we have that banquet, then the parents are there, but also the businesses that are there that are supporting them. So we're actually thanking them overall. But it was very interesting where some of the kids were in these youth apprentice pieces and said, yes, this is exactly what I want to do.
Cool.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And then others came and said, well, I did this, but I'm not really going there. I've decided now to go this way. At least we're helping them and guiding them prior to just jumping. So like if I was going to go to a 4-year college and said, oh, I'm going to be in business, and then you go, you're already wasted a full year.
Yeah.
So that's building up your debt and so forth, and then the years within the system itself. But then if you can get a youth apprenticeship in that area and then make that decision, go, no, that's really not what I want. And now you're already shifting. So those shifting of gears and actually starting to align what their interests are and what their skills are helping those students as they go. Hopefully we can get more of those students into the youth apprentice. Yes, we do get funding back from the state, but again, it's some certain amount, which means this is amount that's in there. Yeah. So if there's more students across the state that are doing it, the less money that comes back to you to support those programs. But I think the biggest thing is the support of our businesses around and all this around this community. Yeah. I think that is the biggest key, and they're also seeing how well our kids really are doing, and what so they learn just as much as the students do.
Yeah, and the nice thing about having these apprenticeships within the community too is these kids come to work for, oh, that's Bob's kid,
Yes, they are.
So maybe the kid's like, oh, he knows my dad. It just helps out a little bit better. It brings more of that family, that community that we have here closer together.
Right. Well, and let's be honest. As you get older, you're like, oh, those kids, they don't act like we did, right? But then when you see them out there and they're actually working and they're doing these things and these particular things and taking on that challenge or taking on that responsibility, now your bias in your head has changed. It's like, maybe they're not that bad, right? I mean, people are people, no matter what. There's a percentage of everybody that does whatever they want to do. But more often than not, our students are very well respected. They have great character. I saw that, like I said, throughout these senior presentations I was able to watch and be involved in. And it's just amazing. When you see them as a 4K coming in crying and didn't want to leave their mom or dad, whatever it is, and you get them to this point, that growth is really heartwarming overall. And that's the reason we're in education. I don't go into education for the extra money, because really that's not that. It's what we're able to do and accomplish and how we can support our communities in the long run.
Yep, and that pays off in the end. I think personally for everyone who works there too, it's good to see your kids go out, get those jobs, see them succeeding, and that's worth the pay, right? Correct.
And when you think about it, and we all are going to end, if you have kids, you're going to end up being an empty nester, right? You see what the school systems have done and helped and supported your schools. Understand that the kids might not be related to you, but your tax dollars are helping support that next piece. Yeah. They're actually supporting your community, and hopefully we keep them within the community. The way the jobs are now and the careers that are here now, there's so many that can just work at home and work virtually and be at a big company. They don't have to move to New York City or anything else, but they can work from here. And they are adding to your community. And we just want everybody to know that that's what's happening in the schools.
And that's great. Well, I think that's a great conversation there. Anything else you want to cover before we let you go today?
I don't have a lot to cover at all. Right. It's just more or less, I just want to congratulate all of the seniors and their parents. You've done a great job, and I wish you all the best in your future careers.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So, Lori, thank you so much for coming in today. And you get out and enjoy some of that sunshine.
I'll go back to work. That's what it does.
Go a little slower on the way to work.
There you go.
Open the windows up.
I'll put on my hazard as I go down the highway.
So we've been talking with Lori Frerk this morning. We're going to jump right back into the hits after this short break.
Whitehall Fire. This is Engine 3. We may have a situation. Engine 3, report. We've got chicken, brats, pulled pork, and a crowd forming at the Whitehall Fire Station. Copy that.